This video is a demonstration of a CAD modeling process. This CAD model is a knuckle joint assembly. First, we need to open our Solidworks application. The first part that we will do is the fork. At first, we will set our unit into MMGS. And then we will make our front plane visible, and then we will start sketching. I insert a circle and make its dimensions into 25 and 50 millimeters. And then I also insert a rectangle or a box, and then make the points in horizontal so that it will line up. After that, I modify the dimensions of the rectangle and the distance of the rectangle and the center of the circle. And then we will trim it. Now we have a shape. We will go to features and then extrude boss base it. Then we will go to mid plane. The dimensions are 18 plus 18 plus 28 millimeters. Now let's turn it on the side and sketch on it. So we will cut it. I inserted a rectangle and then make the points vertical and then modify the dimensions of it. Sometimes it is taking a lot. And then I extrude cut it, blind, and then I extended the arrow. So now we have a two parts. For me, this is easier than making a new plane for me to sketch it. Now let's sketch on this side for the curve. Now I select the 3-point arc and then put it on where it's perpendicular. And just to make sure, I check the dimensions and it is 14, so it is correct on the diagram. And then for the bigger arc, I also make it perpendicular and then put the dimension. It is overdefined, so I remove the 32 and then put the 18 dimension. After that, I extrude boss base it, but as you can see, it is wrong. So here I'm trying to figure out what's wrong in my drawing. And then I notice I didn't put a line to make it a shape. That's why it didn't extrude properly. And now I go to features and then extrude it with the blind and then into another direction and then line it up. Now our fork is slowly coming into life. Now let's go to this side and then sketch. So I inserted a rectangle, and as you can see, I traced the main point for the midpoint. So it is easier. And then I modify the dimensions according to our layout or diagram. And then go to features, then extrude boss base it with blind. And now let's go to the bottom part and sketch on it. And then I inserted an octagon which has 8 sides. Then modify the dimensions. And then go to features, then extrude boss base it by 36 and then fillet it by 8. As you can see, there is something wrong in my CAD modeling or CAD drawing. So I try to repeat the fillet again, but it is still wrong. As you can see, there's a line there at the middle. It shouldn't be there. So I try to check the sketch again on the extrude boss base and I see that the lines are not properly lined up. So I select those two lines and make it collinear, and I delete the dimensions for it to properly work. And then let's check it again. And it's already okay. Now for the fun part, we will change its appearance or color. We will make it pink, because pink is my favorite color. Now onto the second part. We will select new part or new file and then sketch on the front plane again. Just like earlier, we will make two circles which has dimensions of 25mm and 50mm. And then I inserted again a rectangle on the left side and then make the points horizontal so it will line up, and then modify the dimensions of it. So I put all the necessary dimensions for this. And then trim it to make the shape for the extrude boss base. Using mid-plane, we will extrude boss base it with about 28mm. Now we will go to the bottom part and sketch on it. Just like earlier, we will sketch an octagon and then line up all the lines and make it go linear. And then go to features and extrude boss base it again by blind. 36mm, and then make the fillet. Put 8. And then now we have our second part. To make it fun, we will change the appearance of it or the color of it. On to the third part, we have the bolt. Bolt, 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 bolt. Again, we will make a new file, a sketch on the front plane, and I inserted a rectangle and then modify its dimensions. Then I put another rectangle at the bottom, so this looks like the half part of the bolt. So when we revolve the boss base it, select the shapes, and then the axis or the middle part, and then it will look like this. And then select the front plane again for the sketching, and then we will put a circle at the bottom part, and then put the necessary dimensions for it. As you can see, when I put the dimensions, it is in the edge. So I edited again the sketch of the sketch earlier, and then make the dimensions much longer. And then I repeated the process of inserting a circle to the side of the bolt. Modify the dimensions, and then go to features, then extrude cut through all both. And then change the appearance of it. Now on to the next part, we have the ring. Ring, 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 ring. Just like earlier, we will make a new file and then sketch on the front plane again, insert a circle, modify its dimensions. And now, extrude or boss base it mid-plane, and then go to the top plane and sketch the circle, modify its dimensions, and then extrude cut through all both. And then change its appearance for the aesthetic. And now onto the last part, we have the lock. Again, we will make a new file, a sketch on the front plane, and then I inserted a rectangle, modify its dimensions, and then make a new line here, much shorter, and then put a horizontal line to connect the other line or the other side to this shorter side. And go to features, and then revolve boss base. And now we have our lock. I modified the other end and change its dimensions, and then change its appearance. Now we will assemble all the parts. So what I'm trying to do here is to mate both parts. And now we can see here in a slowed video, I selected the circle and the inside of the fork and then mate it. So as you can see, it is perfectly mated. Now I inserted another part, which is the bolt. So I selected the circle under the bolt and then the circle on the side of the fork. And then I added another part, which is the ring, and then I selected the inside of the ring and the circle of the other side of the fork. So now you can see it perfectly fits. Lastly, I added the last part, which is the lock. And select the small side of the lock. And then select the circle on the ring. Now, it is perfectly completed. And this is the final look.
Okay, Alpha Snap on the beat.
Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something.